Screech! Hit it.
Sitcoms feel like home. Familiar faces, comforting laughter, and characters who stay with us long after the credits roll.
No more glad than I am. I can't believe I ever went out with you. You're a boob.
I must have been. I dated you, didn't I?
Since saying goodbye.
No. Good riddance.
But sometimes the stars who made us smile the most leave us in ways no one ever expected. One moment they're part of our everyday lives, and the next, they're gone.
We're demanding. I was like, somebody tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And then one of the security guards was like, we're so sorry. Unfortunately, he passed away.
Today, we look back at the lives, the legacies, and the heartbreaking surprises behind sitcom actors whose deaths surprised us. For millions of 90s kids, Dustin Diamond was the heartbeat of Bayside High. Awkward, overeager, endlessly lovable Screech.
Screech! Hit it.
But behind the slapstick energy was a man whose life moved far faster than the sitcom world he grew up in. Cast at just 11 years old, he spent more than a decade living inside the same character, long after most child actors have faded into anonymity. "You don't get a childhood," he once admitted. Not really. That truth followed him long after Saved by the Bell ended. Life after the show was uneven. Reality series, financial troubles, public controversies. Each misstep magnified because the world still saw him as a kid in a neon t-shirt. Yet the people closest to him remembered his sensitivity, his sharp instincts for comedy, and how deeply he felt others' emotions. He carried all of it quietly. In early 2021, everything changed. Diamond was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell carcinoma, a brutally aggressive form of lung cancer. Within weeks, the illness accelerated, leaving little time for long treatments or long goodbyes. On February 1st, he died at just 44. His co-stars mourned not just a colleague, but the boy they grew up with, the spark who could turn a quiet moment into a burst of laughter. His life was messy, complicated, human. But for anyone who ever watched him pace the halls of Bayside, Screech remains a reminder of innocence, vulnerability, and joy, the kind you don't expect to lose so soon. Phil Hartman's brilliance was the quiet kind, the kind that slipped into a character so smoothly you forgot he was acting at all. On Saturday Night Live, he was the steady anchor, the performer other cast members trusted to hold a sketch together. His Bill Clinton impression, his swaggering Frank Sinatra, his unforgettable turns on The Simpsons as Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz, each one felt effortless.
And the fact is that one person and one person only bears the full responsibility for this affair. My wife, Hillary Rodham.
Offstage, he was gentler, more introspective, a former graphic designer who preferred drawing at home to chasing fame. That calm made what happened on May 28, 1998, all the more unthinkable. Hartman, 49, was at the height of his career, starring on news radio and cherished by colleagues who rarely agreed on anything except how much they loved him. Early that morning, a tragedy unfolded inside his Encino home. His wife, Bryn Omdahl, shot him before dying by suicide hours later. The news stunned Hollywood and devastated fans who had long seen Hartman as a source of stability in a chaotic industry. Friends described him as the one everyone adored, a performer without ego in a field built on it. His children were still young when he died, growing up with memories of a father who could make a room laugh with a look, but also craved quiet. Hartman once said he lived with an awareness that anything could happen in this world. His death proved that vulnerability in a way no one could have imagined, leaving behind a body of work that still glows with warmth, precision, and joy.
And I'm sure that you're aware that Steve derives from the Greek, Stephanos, i.e. crown.
But of course.
Michelle Thomas had the kind of screen presence that made audiences instantly root for her. Whether she was Justine on The Cosby Show or the sweet, determined Myra on Family Matters, she radiated warmth, a gentle charisma that felt effortless. Off-screen, she was just as committed to her craft, studying at the Montclair School of Arts and the Broadway Dance Center, building a foundation that made her performances feel grounded, even when surrounded by sitcom chaos. In the late 90s, as her career was gaining momentum, Thomas faced a diagnosis few had even heard of: a desmoplastic small round cell tumor, an aggressive and extremely rare cancer. She kept working as long as she could, earning an NAACP Image Award nomination for her role on The Young and the Restless. Friends and colleagues believed her star was still rising, but the illness advanced quickly. In December 1998, surrounded by family in Manhattan, Thomas died at just 30. Her parents, Finjuar, an actress, and Dennis Thomas of Kool and the Gang, were left grieving the daughter whose talent and kindness had touched so many. Co-workers described her as a bright future cut short.
And she was crying, and I said, "What's the matter, Michelle?" And she said, "Well, I'm sick," she said. I said, "Well, it'll be all right, And then she was gone.
A sentiment fans echoed across the country. Thomas left behind characters who remain beloved decades later, proof that even a brief career can leave an imprint that doesn't fade. For millions, James Avery will always be Uncle Phil, the steady, uncompromising heart of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But long before he became America's favorite TV patriarch, Avery lived a life defined by discipline, artistry, and quiet strength. He served in Vietnam, wrote scripts and poetry for PBS, and gradually carved out a career as one of television's most commanding character actors. His voice alone, rich and steady, powered animated series like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Iron Man. But it was Fresh Prince that turned him into something deeper, a symbol of dignity and family. Alfonso Ribeiro called him a second father, and fans saw the same.
Uncle Phil, that character was a father to America. In my opinion, the #1 dad in all of television history.
A man who could shift from stern lecture to warm embrace in a heartbeat. Behind the scenes, Avery was generous with younger actors, often guiding them the same way Uncle Phil guided Will. In December 2013, he underwent open-heart surgery in Glendale, California. The procedure was meant to give him more time, but complications followed, and Avery died on December 31st at age 68. The news hit his castmates hard. Tributes poured in from Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Ribeiro, and countless fans who felt they had lost more than an actor. Avery was working right up to that final year, closing out a career built on integrity. As the Fresh Prince reunion photo still circulates online, there's always a quiet ache. One chair empty, one presence impossible to replace. James Avery didn't just play a father figure, he became one. Farrah Forke brought a grounded strength to every role she touched. On Wings, she soared as Alex Lambert, a Desert Storm veteran turned helicopter pilot, whose confidence, wit, and quiet vulnerability made her an instant fan favorite. Her chemistry with the Hackett brothers pushed the show into some of its most memorable storylines, and audiences loved that she could hold her own in a cast full of quick-talking sitcom personalities.
You repulse me! I'm glad we broke up!
No more glad than I am. I can't believe I ever went out with you. You're a boob.
I must have been. I dated you, didn't I?
Since saying goodbye.
No. Good riddance!
She later shifted gears on Lois and Clark, playing sharp attorney Mason Drake, proving she could bring intensity to drama just as easily as charm to comedy. Forke's career stretched across some of the most recognizable shows of the 90s, from Party of Five to Ned and Stacy, with film roles in Heat and Disclosure. But away from the cameras, life took her in a different direction. After the birth of her twin sons, Chuck and Whit, she stepped back from Hollywood and focused on family, a choice friends described as full of intention and love. In February 2022, Forke died at her Texas home after a battle with cancer. She was just 54. Those close to her remembered her as fierce and irreplaceable, the kind of person who filled a room with warmth long before she said a word. Even now, her performances still glow with the same quiet light, the kind that doesn't fade, even after the actress is gone.
Ask me how I slept last night. How'd you sleep? Like a baby with your mom's tit in my mouth. I'm like, oh my God. I want to be emancipated, you creepy man.
Bob Saget spent decades shaping American family comedy. First as Danny Tanner on Full House, then as the wry narrator of How I Met Your Mother, and always as a stand-up who blended sharp edges with surprising warmth. That's why the news of his death in January 2022 felt so unreal. He had just finished a show in Florida, posting online about how energized and grateful he felt to be back on stage. Hours later, he was alone in his Orlando hotel room when a fall caused a head injury he never woke from. He was 65. Investigators found no signs of struggle or impairment.
He's not breathing, he's not moving. No pulse, he's cold, super cold. Do you think he's beyond any help? Yeah.
Hotel staff recalled him as friendly, upbeat, even chatty that night. Yet something went wrong in a private moment. A slip, a hit to the head, the kind of accident no one imagines could be fatal. When police reports were released, his family asked for quiet, not out of secrecy, but to let the shock settle into something gentler.
We're demanding. I was like, somebody tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And then one of the security guards was like, we're so sorry, unfortunately, he passed away.
His wife, Kelly Rizzo, described him as a man who lived wide open, savoring meals, exploring cities, urging loved ones to enjoy every bite and every moment. That boundless warmth is what his colleagues remembered too. Saget had seen enough hardships to know life could turn abruptly, which is perhaps why he chased joy so deliberately. And when he died, it left a silence that felt far bigger than the sitcoms he helped define. Jon Paul Steuer's career began with a kind of promise few kids ever experience. At just 6 years old, he stepped onto the set of Star Trek, The Next Generation as Alexander Rozhenko, Worf's half-human, half-Klingon son, a role that instantly etched him into sci-fi history. Not long after, he was stealing scenes in Little Giants and holding his own on the hit sitcom Grace Under Fire. But the attention that followed wasn't always kind. By his teens, he'd grown weary of the scrutiny, especially the constant questions about the behind-the-scenes turmoil on Grace Under Fire. It really soured me, he later admitted. He walked away from Hollywood before he was even old enough to drive. Steuer reinvented himself completely. Under the name Johnny P. Jules, he fronted punk bands, pouring raw energy into music. Later, he became a restaurateur, building a new life far from the spotlight. Friends described him as lighthearted, fun, someone who made even the rough days feel bearable. On January 1st, 2018, Steuer died by suicide at just 33. His bandmates mourned not just a performer, but a friend who brought a much-needed sense of fun to everything they did. Trekkies posted tributes from around the world, remembering the boy who once strode onto the Enterprise bridge with warrior pride. His life took many unexpected turns, but the warmth people felt for him, from fans, co-workers, and friends, never dimmed. Their stories made us laugh, made us feel, and made our living rooms a little brighter. And losing them, suddenly, unexpectedly, reminds us how deeply entertainers can become part of our lives. Which actor's passing shocked you the most? And are there other sitcom stars you'd like us to honor in a future video? If this tribute moved you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep these memories alive and continue exploring the stories behind the stars we'll never forget. Thank you for watching.